Today, people in Kansas City will walk and run to raise awareness for a national epidemic that you may have never thought about: teen suicide. 41 Action News reporter Jordan Betts tells us why this race today is important.
Well, it might be a tad windy and, maybe a tad bit cold, but today Talk to Me is having their first 5K, and joining me is Elise. You're the founder of this.
Yeah.
First, tell me a little bit about what Talk to Me is.
Well, Talk to Me, it's a program of hope. We want to empower teens to connect, heal, and thrive. We know that, suicide is an epidemic right now, and depression and anxiety among especially young people. So we really want to help them, give them the tools, give them some accountability. We know that they want us to stop and we want us to stop. So we want to work together with them and give them really concrete suggestions as far as coping skills, life contract, things they can really use and words they can say because they're not sometimes sure what to say.
Yeah, you have 2 boys yourself, so you kind of see all what teens go through on a daily basis, which is amazing. Talk about what the money will go towards today.
Okay, so this money will go toward funding this race because we wanted to just bring the community together this is an actual coping skill, coming out, being with the community, running, but it's going to go toward going into more schools, more programs going into more schools. Amazing. And going further. So every dollar is another kid that we can get involved. They're on our advisory board and we have a whole leadership team, or just helping another kid in the community.
If someone wants to find out about you guys, where do they go? Do you guys have a website?
Yes, talk-2me.com.
Super. Thank you so much for joining me, and best of luck today. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Jordan, thank you. If you or someone you know is thinking of harming themselves, you can call the Johnson County Mental Health Crisis Hotline. The number is 913-268-0156. Free, confidential, and staffed 24/7. Today is World AIDS Day as well, and a red ribbon is now hanging from the north portico of the White House. President Trump issued a proclamation to mark this occasion. 1.1 million people in the U.S. and 38 million worldwide are living with HIV. The president has a goal to eliminate at least 90% of new infections in the U.S. in the next 10 years. He says that will be made possible by focusing on diagnosis, treatment, prevention, and response.
We're tracking areas of light wind-driven snow here as we wind up the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. We'll look into the first week of December. What will that bring? We'll have all the new data coming up.
And in your Health Matters this week, a new way to treat AFib using robotic technology. That's coming up. And tomorrow, Cyber Monday. Coming up, we'll give you some tips while you shop online, how to make sure your information stays safe in all that flurry of clicking. We'll be back. Welcome back, 8:40 this morning. There's new hope for heart patients suffering from an irregular heartbeat called cardiac arrhythmia or AFib. In today's Your Health Matters, 41 Action News anchor Cynthia Newsom shows us how HCA Health Midwest is providing a first-of-its-kind robotic solution here in the Midwest.
A normal resting heart rate for adults ranges between 60 to 100 beats per minute. But in the United States, according to HCA Health Midwest, an estimated 2.6 to 6.1 million Americans have extremely fast, irregular heartbeats that can turn into something much worse.
It is a very complex arrhythmia that increases your propensity for congestive heart failure, stroke, dementia, and many other complications that could come from that.
Dr. DJ Laccaretti is an internationally known researcher and physician at HCA Health Midwest. He's also medical director of the new KC Heart Rhythm Institute.
People commonly complain of butterflies in their chest, right? So I think when people do have family history suggestive of atrial fibrillation, if they have high blood pressures, diabetes, they have obesity, obstructive sleep apnea, these are the ones that are at a relatively higher risk of atrial fibrillation. And when you have a fluttering heart, please make sure that you mention this to your primary care physician or your cardiologist if you have one, to make sure that they check you out for one.
New EP labs at Overland Park Regional Medical Center are armed with robotic technology, essential for helping doctors restore normal heart rhythms.
You have areas of the heart that are oftentimes difficult to reach with manual catheters. So there are the nook and cranny and the crevices inside your heart that are sometimes physically impossible to get to with the help of your hands, because you don't have that level of dexterity and skill in your own hand, which can be answered with the help of a robot.
The procedure is called radiofrequency ablation.
Imagine rapid electrical short circuiting that happens inside your upper chambers that drives your upper chambers around about 400 to 600 beats per minute. So what we do in this procedure is we get inside your heart, and then by using heat energy, a radiofrequency ablation catheter using heat energy, we burn that tissue, and thereby we can eliminate these abnormal, irregular, rapid electrical impulses that are driving to make your heartbeat go very fast.
Doctors can work on a patient in the lab or perform the same procedure on a patient at another location through streaming technology. It's less invasive for the patient than traditional surgery. It also reduces the physical strain on doctors because doctors can sit using robotic technology and avoid hours of standing during traditional surgery. Cynthia Newsome, 41 Action News.
In Kansas high school football, quite a few Kansas City Metro teams made it all the way to their state championship game. In 4A, Bishop Miege won the state title over Andover Central 68-7. And in 5A action, Mill Valley grabbed the title. The Jags took on Wichita Northwest. Reagan Jones is the first one here, taking off. He'll take off on this drive all the way down. He finds the end zone and he grabs the lead for the Grizzlies, but the Jags don't stay down for long. It's Cooper Marsh taking off for the races. He goes untouched all the way to the house, tying up the game at 7. Then Northwest Jones on the play action takes off once again, this time for 50 yards. But Northwest would eventually tie it up at 31, but Marsh and the Jags would prove to be too much. Here he is again, finding the end zone. Final score, Mill Valley 40, Wichita Northwest 31. And it seems like forever since the last time we saw the Chiefs on the football field at Arrowhead, but the wait is almost over. The Chiefs host the Raiders tonight at Arrowhead in a big AFC West matchup. Now, the Raiders aren't a team to be looked over. Despite the loss to the Jets last week, Oakland is still 6-5 on the season, and they trail the Chiefs by just one game. This game is going to mean a lot for both teams and for quarterback Derek Carr. A win on Sunday would mean his first at Arrowhead.
Sometimes it's like, oh, we're playing the Chiefs again. I'm like, oh, dang, we haven't won there yet, you know? And it hits you later on, you know? It's not something that's conscious or anything like that. And they've been a really good football team for a long time, you know? It's a tough place to win. You know, you can ask a lot of people that have been through there. It's not easy, right?
And another game that happened in basketball yesterday, Western Illinois at UMKC. The Roos got the win by 68-67 was that final score. That's all we got for your morning sports. Make sure, again, you stick with us for later on. We'll have all the Sunday coverage coming from Arrowhead.